All's well sa UNITEAM, Senador Kongresista, Civil War, at Meralco, price hikes. Kumusta for me? This is Vor Joseph and welcome to News I Deem Worthy Recap Weekly Edition number 37. We have tons to cover since last week, so skip to the timestamps provided if it piques your interest. Get magkadana for the blazing selective summation. Here are some PH News commentary for your convenience. PBBM, everything's fine in the unity. Matapos ang walang hangganang tirada ni former President Rodrigo Duterte at 1st District Davao Representative Sebastian Duterte, ginigiit ni President Bongbong Marcos na ang tambalang uniteam ng mga pamilyang Marcos at Duterte ay matatag at patuloy sa pagsaserbisyo sa mga Pilipino patungo sa bagong Pilipinas, their kick-off campaign na ginawa last week sa Quirino Grandstand. Ang kanilang kampanya to reform the Philippines with this 8-point agenda 2 years into his presidency, which is kind of late, but una rito ang infrastructure development, food security, digital transformation of the government, enterprise development, human capital development, accelerating climate action and strengthening disaster resilience, strategic directions on transitions to full devolution or like decentralization, and research and development and innovation. Matatandaang nagiinit ang mga Duterte specifically patungkol sa People's Initiative for a Charter Change. Nag-hold ng rally si dating Presidente Rodrigo Duterte sa Davao City patungkol sa kanilang pagtutol sa Charter Change via People's Initiative, lalo na kabi-kabila ang issue patungkol sa pagsusuhol ng mga opisyal ng gobyerno o ilang mga negosyante ng kakarampot na 100 pesos at ayuda kapalit ng kanilang pirma in favor of proposing charter change sa Pilipinas. Ulit-ulit nilang sinasabi na Dabaweños are not for sale, echoing 1st District Representative Paulo Duterte sa kanyang pasari laban sa People's Initiative na lumalaganap sa buong Mindanao and possibly the entire region. Lalo na ngayon, meron lang na 44 na distrito sa Pilipinas ang hindi nagbigay ng mga lagda para sa People's Initiative. Kasi kailangan at least 3% per district, but I will get on it later. Pinasaringan nila Atty. Harry Roque at mag-resign pa nga, sabi ni Baste.
Mr. President, kung wala kay Bugma, kung wala kay aspirations, sa inyo na resign.
Mayor Sebastian Duterte at kanyang dating Executive Secretary Vico Rodriguez, si President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. na nagsasabing kanyang pinagsisisihan ang kanyang malaking kontribusyon sa pagkakaelek ni PBBM.
Nung tayo ay nagbuklod-buklod, nagsama-sama, ang ating tema ay unity. Ang Chacha ba, ang paglustay ng pera ng kaban ng bansa, yan ba ay magdudulot sa atin ng pagkakaisa o pagkakawatak-watak?
Pati na ang kanilang pagkadismaya sa paglalaganap ng di umano'y illegal na droga sa bansa, pati na ang peace talks with CPP, NPA, NDF, tulad ng ginawa ni VP Sara Duterte nung kanyang tutulan ang pagbibigay ng amnestiya sa mga dating rebelde ng ilang terrorist groups tulad ng MILF, MNLF, CPP, NPA, NDF, and that Alex something brigade. Now, may tatlong paraan upang baguhin ang saligang batas sa Pilipinas. Number 1, we have the Constituent Assembly, which according to Article 17 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, kinakailangang bumoto ang House of Representatives at Senate separately with a 3/4 majority or around 75% sa House of Representatives at sa Senado upang amyendahan ang saligang batas. We also have Constitutional Convention, which is slightly more at ease sa pagpapagawa ng CONCON. According to Article 17 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, kinakailangan bumoto ang House of Representatives at Senate, again separately, but only with a 2/3 or 66.66% kung ikukumpara mo sa 75% ng Constituent Assembly. Kumbaga, itong 66.66% na mag-authorize sa kanilang paggawa ng convention para pag-usapan ang pag-amyenda sa saligang batas. With the proponents of the constitutional amendments ran the numbers, it said that it will cost the Philippine government a total of 14 billion to 28 billion pesos for a CONCON according to the National Economic and Development Authority o NEDA sa mga delegado at saka of course yung operating hours ng mga delegado na iniimbita sa Constitutional Convention. Marami pang gusto na pag-isahin na lang ang boto ng House of Representatives at Senado, which goes to show you na gusto talaga nilang tanggalin sa picture yung Senado at of course yung kanilang vehement opposition sa charter change. Now, dahil ayaw ng Senado sa charter change, ito ang nakita ng mga proponent ng Chacha para mapalitan or at least mapilitang talakayin ng Senado ang charter change. Number 3, we have People's Initiative. Wala ito sa Konstitusyon ng Pilipinas, ngunit nagkaroon ng legal way ang masa upang makapag-push ng referendum para sa pag-aamyenda ng kahit anong batas, budget at even the Constitution itself. Basta magkaroon lang ng enough signatures to appeal to the government. Sa RA 6735, binibigyan ng kakayahan ang sambayanan para ihain sa Kongreso ang kanilang kagustuhang mag-amyenda by at least 12% ng mga registered voters sa buong bansa, at least 3% in all legislative districts. Kaya talagang nung tinanggal or pinush ng COMELEC na itigil ang pagbibilang at of course pagsasubmit, merong 44 na distrito sa Pilipinas ang hindi pumayag na magbigay ng signatures o mga perma para sa People's Initiative. Kaya hindi nila na-meet yung at least 3% in all legislative district clause sa RA 6735. Ang layo ng RA 6735 ay bigyan ng boses ang masa kung ang kanilang mga representante ay hindi gumagalaw ayon sa kanilang gusto, lalo na sa mga batas na ipinapanukala at naipasa. Isinuspinde rin ng COMELEC ang mga proseso o pagpoproseso ng mga perma sa People's Initiative upang repasuhin ang nasabing implementing rules and regulation upang siguraduhin ang pagtahak ng landas sa pag-amyenda ng saligang batas. Kasi kahit anong allegations of malice done with regards to the People's Initiative, makokompromisa or makokompromise yung push for People's Initiative, lalo na ngayon maraming nagsasabi na of course Ed Selagman at Kabataan Party List Representative na merong nagbibigay ng ayuda kapalit ng pirma at of course meron pa yung 100 piso per pirma. May sinasabi pang secession o pag-alis ng Mindanao sa Pilipinas na pinangungunahan ni former President Rodrigo Duterte, presumably because they're being quote-unquote persecuted and will be prosecuted by ICC or by the ICC or International Criminal Court o Court International Criminal Court. I don't know. Dahil sa kanyang patuloy na pasading sa nakaupong presidente. Of course, ako ayoko talagang ibigay si Duterte sa ICC. Kung gusto talagang makasuhan si Duterte, gawin nila sa, of course, sa korte ng Pilipinas. And then only do they get to prosecute the former leader of the Philippines. Kasi napaka-bad perception or bad look kung yung mga banyaga ang unang aaresto o magta-trial kay, again, former President Rodrigo Duterte. Nagsagutan pa nga ang dati at kasalukuyang presidente. Nakusahan ni FPRRD na sumisinghot si PBBM ng cocaine at ito'y nasa drug list ng PIDEA noong siya ang mayor ng Davao at baka siya'y matulad sa kanyang tatay.
Pumapasok kayo ng alanganin. Mr. President, baka susunod ka sa dinaanan ng tatay mo.
Although, is he saying na mapapatalsik siya sa kanyang posisyon? Drug addict ba si former President and Dictator Ferdinand Marcos Sr.? At sinasabi rin niya na si First Lady Liza Marcos or Liza Araneta Marcos at Speaker Romualdez ang nagpapapit kay PBBM sa mga inisyatibong ito. That First Lady Liza Marcos or Liza Araneta Marcos is somehow the mastermind. And of course, I'm not discrediting women, but you know what? Probably. Samantalang pinabulaanan naman ito ng PIDEA at PNP with PBBM saying na baka fentanyl ang dahilan kung bakit nagsasalita ng ganyan ang dating presidente ng Pilipinas.
Sa statement ni President Duterte last night sa drugs and initiative and encouraging you to resign.
I think it's the fentanyl.
I just want amphetamines, okay? Or cocaine and fentanyl. Naglabas naman ng suporta ang Kamara para sa kasalukuyang presidente amid Duterte's bashing and of course even House Speaker Romualdez. Sinasabi niyang mananatili si VP Sara Duterte as the Department of Education Secretary, samantalang nagsalita naman si VP Sara Duterte na iginigiit na kahit na nirerespeto niya ang desisyon at freedom of expression ng kanyang ama at kapatid, hindi ibig sabihin nun ay parehas sila ng sentimiento sa administrasyon at sa ating presidente.
Assalamualaikum. Taus-puso po akong nagpapasalamat kay Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. para sa kanyang patuloy na tiwala at kumpiyansa sa akin bilang kalihim ng kagawaran ng edukasyon. Mahalaga ang kanyang pagkilala sa papel ng lahat ng bumubuo ng Department of Education sa pagsulong ng 8-point socio-economic agenda ng Marcos administration para sa isang bagong Pilipinas. Nagpapasalamat din ako kay PBBM sa kanyang paggalang sa aking mga paninindigan. Katulad na lang ng aking pagtutol sa pera ko sa lahat ng mga ito. Pinalaki ako ng aking mga magulang na may pagpapahalaga sa malayang pag-iisip at pagpapasya. Para sa akin, laging nangunguna ang katapatan ko sa paglilingkod sa bayan. Uunahin ko ang edukasyon ng ating kabataan at kapayapaan ng bayan.
Ayon naman kay Senator Amy Marcos na nasa parehong rally ni former President Rodrigo Duterte nung sinabi niyang against post-initiative charter change at kung saan parang nilalapastangan ang otoridad ng kanyang kapatid na nagsorry naman daw si Mayor Baste Duterte sa kanyang mga maanghang na tirada sa kanyang kapatid. Ngunit pinabubulaanan naman ito ni Baste, the Davao Mayor, at sinasabing nagsorry siya kay Madam Senator Amy Marcos as a sign of respect sa kanyang presidential sister. Pero hindi niya binabawi yung mga paratang or calls niya for resignation laban sa presidente. Senado at HOR labanan sa Kongreso. Pumalag sa mga paratang na nilalapastangan na at hindi sinasang-alang ang interparliamentary courtesy o ang pagpe-play-nice ng dalawang houses ng Kongreso ayon sa mga leader ng House of Representatives dahil sa patuloy na investigasyon ng Senado sa mga nagpupush ng charter change via People's Initiative kung saan naiisiwalat na ang grupong pirma o People's Initiative Reform, Modernization and Action na, as their name suggests, keeps on pushing charter change through RA 6735 aka People's Initiative route ng constitutional amendment and basically everything. Naisiwalat sa kanilang investigasyon na nakikipag-usap at nakikipagpulong pa si House Speaker Martin Romualdez sa mga grupo na nagpupush sa People's Initiative ng kanyang naramdaman yung dismissal ng mga senador sa kahit anong Chacha na inihiyain ng mga kongresista sa House of Representatives. Samantalang ang mga Congress representatives sa House of Representatives ay bumanat back patungkol sa sinasabing pagpatay sa pag-asang maamyendahan ng salikang batas dahil sa kanilang mga hearing at inquiry regarding sa mga suhulan at masterminds ng nasabing People's Initiative at of course, ini-implicate nila na si Martin Romualdez ay isa sa mga figurehead at basically the sponsor ng mga taong ito. Lalo na sa pagpapagawa ng ad. Basically saying na baka mamaya budget ng tao ang ginagamit pang suhol sa mga tao at yung paggawa ng ad nila along with many more. Although he has already said before the year ended back in December 2023 that they will pursue constitutional amendments for 2024 which could also explain why tumaas ng 7 times from 2 billion pesos na hinihingi ng COMELEC to 14 billion pesos ang budget para sa eleksyon and most importantly, plebiscito that the People's Initiative will trigger. So basically, they're trying to ready up the COMELEC's budget for the plebiscite that would happen if the People's Initiative route will come through. Again, a video will be soon recorded for the entire shebang regarding the present constitutional amendment talks, including political and economic revisions. Here are some more page news for your convenience. Philippine Statistics Authority Inflation and Unemployment Report, January 2024, December 2023, respectively. Ayon sa Philippine Statistics Authority, bumaba ang inflation rate o ang bilis ng pagtaas ng presyo ng mga bilihin sa Pilipinas ng mahigit 1.1% from 3.9% noong Desyembre to 2.8% nitong January 2024. Hindi hamak na mas mababa rin ang inflation rate ng Pilipinas ngayong kaysa naman noong Disyembre 2022 na umabot sa 8.7% inflation rate. Ina-attribute ang pagbaba ng pagbilis ng pagtaas ng mga bilihin sa pag-decrease totally o ang iba na may pagbabagal ng pagtaas ng mga bilihin at serbisyo tulad ng gulay, isda, housing at transportasyon. Samantalang ang inflation rate ng bansa para sa bottom 30% income households decreased to 3.6% at 5.2% naman sa mga food and non-alcoholic beverages, which is an improvement of some sort. Pero as we can see, 2.8% yung national inflation average, samantalang 3.6% naman sa bottom 30% income household or the poorest of the poor. But it still proves that being poor is still more expensive in the Philippines considering talagang mabilis ang pagtaas ng mga rate ng taas ng bilihin. Para naman sa unemployment rate ng bansa para sa December 2023, bumaba na naman ng 0.5% ang unemployment rate sa Pilipinas or noong December to 3.1% compared to the unemployment rate of 3.6% noong November 2023. Mas mababa rin ng 1.2% ang unemployment rate ng Pilipinas sa December 2023 kung ikukumpara sa December 2022 statistic na 4.3% unemployment rate. December 2023 is now the lowest recorded unemployment rate. Mas mataas naman ang labor force participation rate of 66.4% for December 2022 to 66.9% this December 2023, but up 1% from 65.9% since November 2023. Samantalang ang underemployment rate from 12.6% last December 2022 was brought down to just 11.9% for November 2023, ngunit mas mataas from the November 2023 underemployment of 11.7%. Pagudpud, Ilocos Norte, 5.4 magnitude earthquake. Niyanig ng 5.4 magnitude na lindol ang Ilocos Norte sa Luzon, of course, noong kinaumagahan ng February 7 na nag-cause ng massive panic at mass evacuation dahil sa lakas ng pagyanig sa, probinsya. Ang epicenter ng nasabing lindol noong February 7 ay nasa 16 kilometers northwest of Pagudpud, Ilocos Norte at may ilalim na 10 kilometro ayon sa Department of Science and Technology, Philippine Volcanology and Seismology o DOST FIVOX. Meralco February 2024 price hike. Nag-anunsyo ang Meralco ng dagdag singil para sa paparating na bill ngayong February 2024 na aabot sa 57 cents or 57 cents per kilowatt hours ang dagdag na singil o around 115 pesos sa mga kumakonsumo na 200 kilowatt hours, 172 pesos sa 300 kilowatt hours at 229 pesos sa 400 kilowatt hours at most importantly, dagdag na 287 pesos para sa kumakonsumo ng 500 kilowatt hours ng kuryente. Ang nasabing dagdag singil sa Meralco ay dahil daw sa pagtaas ng presyo ng mga galing sa mga liquefied natural gas imports na kind of the source of our energy kapag binurn at malampay gas field price increase ng kanila ng isinangguni sa Energy Regulatory Commission o ERC na pinag-iimbestigahan yung pagpasa ng dagdag singil sa mga consumer. Talaga nga namang napakalaki ng nadagdag sa presyo per kilowatt hour na konsumo ng mga consumer na maaaring magpataas na naman ng inflation sa ating bansa after an almost year low of 2.8%. Here are some notable international news for your convenience. North Korea scraps cooperation with the South. In a pretty astounding show of defiance and increasingly hostile divisive action by the North Korean government, it has voted to scrap all agreements between the neighboring countries which would again exacerbate the division between the two countries at war in the Korean Peninsula, although, to be fair, this is a part of their tactics of being overtly hostile to negotiate with the West, specifically the US to send foreign aid, which after the deal would then be friendlier again to the West and its allies until still they need more foreign aid, and it just circles on and on and on. This is most likely because the world is now focused on Taiwan and China, Ukraine and Russia, and Israel and Palestine hogging all the limelight away from the peninsula's security and its hostile and unstable leadership. US's southern border crisis and civil war. In a sweeping bipartisan bill that would allow the US government to send a $60 billion aid to Ukraine to combat Russia, $14 billion for Israel to combat Palestinians, and yes, I said Palestinians because that's what they are doing, not just Hamas, and $10 billion to aid Palestinians. I mean, notice that they will give the Israeli killing machine $4 billion more against the Palestinians' $10 billion aid to, again, the Gazans, with major concessions such as the $20 billion US border security deal, which is essentially an outright authorization of murders in the southern border of the US of A with Mexico. In this particular bill, which is struggling in the House of Representatives as House Speaker Mike Johnson refused to budge or give a quote-unquote win to the Democrats by ensuring the bill's demise the moment it comes to a vote, even with this measly majority in the House of Representatives. The bill would give the Republicans a seemingly huge dub as the Democrat-controlled Senate will allow stricter and deadlier border security in the South, which would continue the maiming and murder of immigrants trying to seek asylum to its country. Now, there's some speculation as to why the Republicans in the Senate and House of Representatives refuse to deal with the Democrats when the Democrats is basically handing over something they will have little to no chance of actually passing on their own. Some say that the Republicans, and specifically Trump, are actually purposefully delaying indefinitely any type of border security measure because it's their huge talking point in the campaigning for elections. More specifically, Donald Trump with his Build the Wall campaign promises in the 2016 election. And again, since it has been kind of halted by the Democrats, well, this is the greatest chance that they would have. Although, if they actually build the wall without much pushback from the Democrats or with them firmly not on the helm of the policy to increase border security, they'll lose that talking point, which would lessen their chances at getting the white evangelical voter base riled up, considering the voter or the immigrants are now at the border, which would theoretically mean that, you know, the white or the great replacement theory will not be coming to fruition, and that the Democrats actually helped the evangelical voters in their cause for the border security measures. Although I don't think that even if this bill would pass with the Democrats at its helm, or even with a huge dub to the Democrats for the appealing of conservative white evangelicals, that doesn't mean that they will win the 2024 elections. They'll basically just not win the 2024 elections, as liberal or the liberals that will actually vote for Biden would be kind of or icky whenever they see that they are basically supporting this and even encouraging the Republicans to vote for this child maiming immigrant bill that would give Israel $14 billion. Ukraine is okay to them, and only $10 billion aid to the Palestinians as they give the Israeli killing machine $4 billion more. Even though the Republicans themselves demand a strict southern border policy as the Texan governor mobilized against federal ruling to ease border restriction as numerous people die in their perilous journey of coming into Texas. The Democrats shouldn't even talk to the Republicans about border security because, spoiler alert, you're basically giving the Republicans free press if ever they work with you on that deal. You won't get border street cred, as they say, to the white evangelicals and the funding of more maiming and baby killing in the Mexican border. It's just not possible to, again, out pizza the hut, or as Hazan said, you can out racist the already overtly racist. I mean, you are kind of low-key racist, but the Republicans are overtly racist with the xenophobia and, Zionist talking points that they are having. At yan na pagtatapos ang News I Deem Worthy Recap Weekly Edition for roughly the second week of February 2024. Mag-suggest some more topics and or corrections to the balitas if you feel I misrepresented them in any way. Salamat sa mga panonood, mga kabayang. Avoid me, like, subscribe, and follow my links in socials and avoid Joseph that would be linked down below. Sa susunod bali, paalam.